Hello and welcome to part 20 of the Tekkit tutorial series. Today we're going to be going over some blast furnaces, some steel and the tunnel bore which I promised and how to set it up. So we'll get straight in there with the blast furnace brick. Now for one blast furnace you will need 34 bricks, and to make it you put soul sand in the corners, nether brick at the sides and the top and bottom, and magma cream in the middle. Now this is relatively expensive, but I found that if you can find a slime ball and condense it, you'll have plenty of them, and all you need to do is find a blaze rod and macerate it, and this gives you 5 blaze powder. Now you can get a blaze rod by adding in, I think it's redstone, into an energy condenser, and it will eventually turn into a blaze rod after not very long. After about 5 minutes it will turn into a blaze rod. I think it's redstone. If it's not redstone, it's glowstone dust. So check that out. So now we've got our blast furnace bricks. We can use the blast furnace to make us some iron ingot. No, not iron ingots. What am I talking about? Steel ingots. Now all you've got to do is add iron ingots into your blast furnace, power it with some coal or coke coal, and it will turn to steel ingots. Now for the tunnel bore we're going to need 2 blocks of steel, which is just steel filling every square of the crafting table, and we're going to make ourselves a diamond bore head. Now this is the little thing that sits on the front of your tunnel bore and digs away like crazy. It's made with a diamond block in the centre, surrounded by steel ingots. So finally we'll get on to making the tunnel bore. Now I presume everyone knows how to make minecarts. This should be a chest cart here. I don't know why it's not. There we go, quickly replace that with a chest cart. But to make it you put 2 minecarts at the top centre and the very centre, a chest cart at the bottom centre, furnaces on the left and right, and the 2 blocks of steel at the top corners. And this will get you your tunnel bore. Now it looks tiny in your inventory. I don't know how you carry this around because it is absolutely massive. But we won't question physics. So next we're going to make ourselves a crowbar. Now this is very handy in railcraft, as it's a bit like the wrenches and screwdrivers, it's just the same kind of thing. This is made with iron ingots diagonally across the middle, and some rose red dye on the side centres. This will get you a crowbar. Now next we're going to make a world anchor and an anchor cart. Now I'll explain these once I've got through the crafting of them, but to make an anchor you put obsidian all the way down the middle, gold ingots in the corners and diamonds on the sides, and this will get you a world anchor. And to put it in a cart you just put a minecart underneath it and the world anchor on top, and you will get an anchor cart. Now a world anchor, as you will see around the place, I've got these world anchors just touching the floor. Basically these keep the chunks loaded, so you don't have to be in this chunk, and it will keep everything working fancily. I mean I've got one under my factory so that all the pipes keep working, that doesn't accidentally spill out onto the floor. That's basically what they do. They keep the chunk loaded when you're not in it. So as you can see over there, I can't really get high enough, but that chunk over there is not loaded, but for example this one over here is. That's because it's got a world anchor in it, as you can see just about there. So we need to set up a blast furnace. Now as you can see I've already got one set up there. You build it like a coke oven. You put a base of 3x3 on the bottom, and you want it to be 4 blocks high, like so. But you want to leave the centre hollow, a bit like the coke oven, but it's too high in the centre. So you want to do this, and then you build it up, and we'll see the 2 new bricks, 2 new things at the bottom. And if you look inside, it's just like a normal furnace, apart from it turns iron into steel, which is needed. So that's that. I won't show you that because I presume you know how to work a furnace by now. So we're going to go straight onto the tunnel bore. I'm going to go down at my mine shaft, just fall down so it gets there quickly. Right, so as you can see I've been testing this out. I haven't used a tunnel bore before, but I've got one working down there, but I've got one set up here so I can show you how to work it. So you get it in your hand and you right click. Now you'll need a bit of track for this already down, as it is quite the mammoth. I mean look at the size of this thing, look at the size. But you'll need a bit of track, roughly 10 long should do it, and that will fill it. So next, if I just get my chest carts out and attach these to here, like so. Now if I get my crowbar and I right click on the minecart and right click on this, it'll say link started, link created. Now this is a bit like the teleporters, where you're just linking two carts together. So if I just link these two, they'll scoot up and join each other. And I'm going to put an anchor cart down here, just in case I'm not in the same chunk as this tunnel bore. So now that these are all linked, wherever the front one goes, these back ones will go too. And as you can see, this has got a nice little UI here. And I forgot to go and get my diamond bore head, so bear with me. Right, so I've got my diamond bore head, and all you have to do is shift right click and it will just jump in. Now I'll take the fuel out a second, because now you want to put rails in the rail slot, gravel in the gravel slot, and fuel in the top slot, which is obvious. Now coal will burn for 10 seconds. You will get 10 seconds of fuel out of your coal. You can put lava in here, you can put coke coal in here, but that's about it really, those three things. And it will power, and as it churns along, it will lay tracks underneath it, and if there's a hole, it'll drop gravel in. Now it will stop if it hits a gap deeper than 10, I think it is, or if it runs out of fuel, or if it comes across an ore that it doesn't recognise. Now I'll be telling you how to remedy this ore situation in a bit, because you have to edit config files, and I'll show you that right at the end of the video. So as you can see here, these are getting pulled along nicely, and this will keep the chunk that it's in loaded. What you can do is, you can all the things that it digs up gets put in the chest behind it. Usually it would just spit it out onto the floor, and this isn't good. So as you can see, it's filling up. But what you can also do is, if you add some, I don't want fuel. Or do I want fuel? Can you put fuel in? No, it won't take fuel. Okay, so we know that now. It won't take fuel. But if I put some coal in, like some coke coal, let's see, you'll see it'll start to drag it out, and it will fill up its fuel slots. Now, once this one gets full, it will start putting things in this next back chest. So if I can fill this one up quickly with some tracks or something, just spam some tracks in, like so. Nice, lovely tracks. And then we'll get some gravel. Fill this up with gravel. Spam this with gravel. And as you'll see, this is actually getting gravel and tracks in now, which is pretty good. Now, coke coal will burn for 20 seconds instead of 10, so it's twice as good as coal. And lava will burn for 2 minutes, which is pretty insane. So if I just fill this up a bit more, always need extra. There we go. So you see, anything that digs now should hopefully end up in here when it actually manages to dig through. There we go. And when it stops, what is it actually? What are you digging? What are you digging down there, Mr. Tunnel Bore? It's digging the rocks. Ah, it's because these are full. So once this is full, we'll eventually put in here. So I'm just going to skip forward a bit. So as you can see, the first one's now completely full, unless it finds some dirt, and it started putting it in the secondary chest. And you can have as many of these as you want. You could link this up 20 chests, and then make sure this had enough fuel for the rest of its life. But if you just watch this quickly, I mean, you can do this yourself, but I think I'll show you anyway. And any second, now the diamond bore head is actually the fastest. If this was iron or steel, it would be a lot slower. Now what you don't want to do is stand in front of it. It will murder you. It does about 10 hearts of damage a second, so just don't go near the thing. So that's about it. That's about it for this tutorial. Really short, I know, but the main important thing is going to come in the config files. So now we're going to edit the config files. What you want to do is you want to go to your start menu and go to run. And you can search it in the bar if you're on Windows 7, and you'll get run up. And you want to go to your %app data % folder in here. and this will take you to your app data roaming. Now you want to go into .technic launcher, and then Tekkit, and then config, Railcraft, and then the Railcraft CFG file. Now once you're in here, you want to do a Control F and look for Mineable. And this will take you down to here. Now as you can see, I've already added a couple of blocks, but I've already missed some. Now in between these squiggly braces, you need to put any blocks that you want your mining bore to actually mine. So you want to put in 140, 140 colon 1. You've got to separate them with commas. 140 colon 2. 140 colon 3. Now that's what is that? I think that's rubies, sapphires, emeralds, nickelite, uranium, stuff like that, copper, anything that's non-mine from normal classic Minecraft, you need to add in here. So next we want, that's it, that's all we need. So we've got rubies, sapphires, emeralds, uranium, nickelite, copper, tungsten, and tin, I think it is. I'll copy this into my description tomorrow morning when it goes up. But this is, and then you need to save. Make sure you save it. Make sure you've got Minecraft closed as well. And if you don't have Minecraft closed, just close it down and reopen it after you've saved it, and this will work. Because if your tunnel bore comes up to something where it doesn't know what it is, so for example if it came up to tin and you haven't done this, it will just stop. It'll burn fuel and it won't move. And no one wants that. So thanks for watching. There's a subscribe button at the top if you've enjoyed yourself. I hope you've learnt something. Tell your friends, and I will catch you next time, guys. See you later.